Stockton stole the ball. Stockton stole the ball. He's the all-time leader in the history of the game.
Number 20. 40,474 plus career points, LeBron James. Now, we understand that there was probably a time after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired in 1989 that people thought his career points mark of 38,387 was a record that would never be broken.
We'd just like to say thank you for letting us share in your great career.
And while Karl Malone and Kobe Bryant made runs at it, they both ended their careers about 2,000 and 5,000 points behind Abdul-Jabbar respectively. Then along came LeBron James, and on February 7, 2023, he scored the 38,388th point of his career and took over the top spot on the career points list.
LeBron James, a shot at history, and there it is! LeBron stands alone!
A spot that now stands at over 40,400 points and growing. The closest active player to James is Kevin Durant, and he's about 12,000 points behind. Number 19, 200 NASCAR wins, Richard Petty. Richard Petty's nickname is the King, and looking at what he did on the racetrack, that moniker looks to have been well earned.
It's been wonderful. I mean, 35 years, the good Lord's looked after us all these years, and I'm still walking around.
Petty has a whole host of racing records that will probably never be broken, including most wins in a season, 27, most Daytona 500 wins, 7, and most consecutive wins, 10. But the one that stands above all others, the king of his records, has got to be his 200 NASCAR wins.
Coming down the front straight, here they are, Sam. They will come across the yellow line, just about together, but Petty had the lead. A checkered flag for car number 43. Richard Petty has won the 200th race of his incomparable career.
The consistency needed to get that many victories over a long career is impressive. But even more impressive is how far ahead of the pack he is. David Pearson sits in second place, and he ended his career with 105 wins. Number 18, 11 Stanley Cups, Ari Rashard. The Montreal Canadiens were a dominant force in the NHL throughout the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, taking home 16 Stanley Cups throughout those decades. One player who was a key part of those teams from 1955 to 1975 was Ari Rashard.
For 2 decades, the 5'7" Rashard tormented opponents with his nimble feet and soft hands. He led the league in assists twice and was the 9th player to tally 1,000 career points.
And over the course of his 20-year career, Rashard won 11 Stanley Cups as a player, a record that we feel is unlikely to ever be broken. The only other players close to 11, like Jean Beliveau and Yvan Cournoyer with 10, were teammates of Richard's for most of their wins.
Rashard led Montreal to the 1973 championship, a record 11th Stanley Cup as a player.
Even Wayne Gretzky, the greatest player of all time, only has 4 Stanley Cups. Number 17, 7 no-hitters, Nolan Ryan. It's true that there have been more no-hitters in Major League Baseball over the past few years. In fact, 2021 saw 9 no-nos, which is the most ever for one season. However, while there have been more of them league-wide, there hasn't been one pitcher racking them up like Nolan Ryan did decades ago.
This may be it!
Ryan pitched his first 5 no-hitters between 1973 and 1981. The current active pitcher with the most no-hitters is Justin Verlander with 3, and it took him 12 years between 2007 and 2019 to do that. Ryan also got his 6th and 7th when he was 43 and 44 years old respectively, which on its own is also pretty amazing.
That's it! Number 7 is in the books! The remarkable Ryan has done it again!
There's no breaking this no-hitter record. Number 16, 74 consecutive match wins, Martina Navratilova. On February 15, 1984, Martina Navratilova lost to Hanna Mandlikova in the finals of the Silicon Valley Classic. She wouldn't lose again until December. Starting with her next match on February 20th, Navratilova would spend the next 10 months defeating everyone in her path.
Just can't get to it. Martina Navratilova.
A path that included 74 consecutive matches and 3 majors, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. She also made it to the semifinals of the Australian Open, which is where her streak ended, 2 matches away from a possible Grand Slam.
Biggest upset of the year in tennis. Shakova wins the semi-final from Navratilova, And she's into the final of the Australian Open.
Not only is she the only player to reach 74 match wins in a row, no one else has even gotten to 50. Bjorn Borg got to 49 once, and the great Serena Williams' longest streak was 34. Number 15, 87 consecutive wins, Julio Cesar Chavez. Sure, Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s career record of 50-0 is impressive.
That's it. Oh, Robert Byrd has stopped the fight! But what a night it has been here in Las Vegas!
But it isn't as impressive as 87-0, which was Julio Cesar Chavez's record before he fought to a draw against Pernell Whitaker in 1993. In February of 1990, when Buster Douglas shocked the world and ended Mike Tyson's 37-fight win streak, Chavez was already 68-0 and would go on to win 19 more before that draw.
The decision is a majority decision draw.
A draw, and you can see the reaction of Sweet Pea Whitaker. He can't believe it, and frankly, I can't either.
These days, most boxers don't have more than 50 or so fights in their career, let alone win them all as Mayweather did, which makes Chavez's record feel extra safe. Number 14, 1,406 stolen bases, Rickey Henderson. While the stolen base isn't a big part of the Major League game these days, that definitely was not always the case. Up until the turn of the century, the stolen base was a very important part of the game, and Rickey Henderson is the greatest player to ever do it.
He's going. Pitches high. He stole it. The American League record for Rickey Henderson.
Henderson played 25 years from 1979 to 2005 and led the league in stolen bases 12 times. He ended his career with 1,406 of them, which is almost 500 more than Lou Brock, who sits in second place. Now, maybe with the slightly bigger bases and the new limits on throws to first base, steals will begin to rise. But they'll never rise to Henderson's level again.
Lou Brock was a symbol of great base stealing. But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Number 13, 208 career touchdowns, Jerry Rice. When it comes to wide receivers and NFL records, Jerry Rice could be a complete list all by himself. From receptions to receiving yards, Rice had more in his career than any other player in history.
It's almost a consensus that the best wide receiver in football is number 80, Jerry Rice. Some wide receivers can catch it deep, some can catch it short, some can catch intermediate routes, some guys are possession receivers, but Jerry Rice can do it all.
But the unbreakable record we wanted to focus on here was his career touchdown mark of 208. An impressive number made even more so because of the era in which Rice played, which, unlike today, didn't have the same strict rules against certain defensive plays and protection for quarterbacks.
Highway 101 belongs to Jerry Rice. Next exit, Hall of Fame, as Jerry Rice stands all alone as number one in pro football history in touchdown reception.
But even with this being what some might call a golden age of receiving, Rice still stands over 100 TDs ahead of Davante Adams, who is the highest among active players with 95. Number 12, 11 NBA championships, Bill Russell. Bill Russell played 13 seasons in the NBA for the Boston Celtics from 1956 to 1969.
For all his accolades, one aspect of his transcendent career stands out. He has more titles to his credit than any other player in NBA history.
And during those 13 years, not only was he one of the most dominant players in the league, but there were also only 2 seasons in which he didn't win the championship. And one of those years, his Celtics lost in the finals, so he only missed going to the finals 1 time. Add to that a stretch of 8 championships in a row, and Russell's 11 wins is as safe can be.
Russell is the greatest winner of all time, the most valuable player of all time, and no one can equal his record of 11 championships in 13 years.
Michael Jordan would have needed 2 more three-peats to surpass Russell's ring count. That's air even Jordan could never reach. Number 11, 427 weeks at number 1, Novak Djokovic. In case you didn't realize that this century you've been watching 3 of the 3 best tennis players to ever play the game, allow us to give you some number 1 numbers.
Oh, stop it! Novak Djokovic, what are you doing? That is outrageous!
Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic all have 20 or more Grand Slam titles, numbers we are not likely to ever see again. But Nadal is the only player to ever be world number 1 in 3 separate decades. Federer spent a record 237 straight weeks at number 1, and Djokovic has held the top spot 427 times as of the last week of May 2024.
One of the most difficult things to do in our sport, obviously, winning Grand Slams and being number 1 in the world are probably the pinnacles of the sport.
There's more likely to be 427 more seasons of Grey's Anatomy than for any player to reach that many weeks at number 1 again. Number 10, 18 major titles, Jack Nicklaus. After Tiger Woods won his 14th major, there were probably a lot of people in 2008 who were pretty confident that it was only a matter of time before he surpassed Jack Nicklaus on the all-time majors leaderboard.
18. Say the number to any golf fan in the world, and they know what it represents. The unsurpassed major championship victory total of Jack Nicklaus.
But here we are over 15 years later, and Woods sits at 15 titles, and Nicklaus's record seems safer than ever. There are some great players out there winning majors, but that's the problem. They're all winning them. If Tiger couldn't surpass the Golden Bear, then we're pretty sure no one ever will.
With typical humility, he insists that his record will someday be broken. But Jack Nicklaus's major championship presence will always stand the test of time.
Number 9, 2,632 consecutive games played, Cal Ripken Jr. Can you think of something you've done consistently for over 16 years?
A moment that will live for 2,131 years. We will never see anything like this again.
Well, Cal Ripken Jr. can, because from May 30th, 1982 to September 19th, 1998, Ripken played in every single baseball game for the Baltimore Orioles. In 1995, he broke Lou Gehrig's record of 2,130 games. And with the 501 he added onto it, this thing will stand tall forever.
Let it be said that number 8, Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star.
Especially given all the emphasis on load management and athletes getting rest throughout the long season. Exhibit A, Whit Merrifield's 553-game streak, which is the longest streak that began since 2010, spanning 4 years from June 25, 2018 to July 10, 2022. Number 8, 104 total pole positions, Lewis Hamilton. Michael Schumacher is one of the greatest F1 drivers ever, and in his 308 races, he earned the pole position an impressive 68 times. Or at least that was an impressive number until Lewis Hamilton came along and blew it away with his 104 poles.
Wow, was that fast?
You done it, mate. That was an epic first lap.
And as of 2024, Hamilton is still racing and could see even more pole positions in his future. While Max Verstappen seems to be winning everything these days, he stands about 65 poles behind the leader and would need to pole in 44% of his next 147 entries to match Hamilton's totals, which is a whole lot more than the 20% average he currently enjoys.
Feels like an out-of-body experience. I feel like I'm back here watching this going on. It's not really happening.
This record is Hamilton's to keep. Number 7, 3 World Cups, Pele. Soccer fans today might just assume that Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo hold every record in the sport. But as older fans know, there was a guy named Pele from Brazil who might just be the greatest to ever play the game, and has a few records to his name as well.
Pele, real name Edson Arantes do Nascimento, is widely regarded as one of the greatest ever exponents of the sport. He helped become known as the beautiful game.
This includes his almost unbreakable record of 3 World Cup championships. Even more impressive is the fact that only 3 countries have more World Cup trophies than Pele does.
Brazil won the right to keep the Jules Rimet trophy after winning it for the 3rd time, and Pele's FIFA World Cup career ended on a high.
So if it's almost unheard of for a country to win 3, especially within the span of any player's career, then how is any one player going to win that many, let alone a 4th to break the record? It's not going to happen. Number 6, 18,355 career rushing yards, Emmit Smith. Walter Payton's 16,726 career rushing yards might have looked unreachable when he retired in 1987. But 3 years later, a guy named Emmit Smith made his debut in the NFL and started rushing towards the record, eventually amassing a career total of 18,355 yards on the ground.
When he took that football field, it was like he turned into Superman. He was an incredible talent.
And why won't this record also be broken? Because the game has changed. It's much more of a passing league than it's ever been. And while quarterback stats have continued to rise, running back stats have gone down.
That should do it!
Emmit Smith has eclipsed Walter Payton as the NFL's all-time rushing leader, and somewhere, sweetness is smiling. The torch is passed. Long live the king.
Also, Smith played for 14 seasons, something most players, let alone running backs, don't do very often these days, especially at a level high enough to rack up so many yards. Number 5, 2,857 career points, Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky is another one of those athletes who can have an entire list like this all to himself. Upon his retirement in 1999, the Great One held 61 NHL records.
He retired with a mind-boggling 2,857 points. No one else has eclipsed 2,000. He holds or shares dozens of NHL records, many of which appear unbreakable.
And today, over 2 decades later, he still holds 58 of them. One of those records that stands out from the crowd is his career points total of 2,857. Yes, it looks like Alex Ovechkin has a good chance of surpassing Gretzky's career goals record of 894, but Ovi is still 1,300 total points behind Gretzky. Not only is Gretzky the only player to ever score more than 2,000 points, but his 1,963 career assists are more than any other player's total career points.
Even if he had never scored a goal, Gretzky's 1,963 assists would rank above all other players in career points.
2,857 is here to stay. Number 4, 683 weeks world number 1, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods will probably never surpass Jack Nicklaus for the most majors, but there are plenty of records that Woods will likely hold forever. These include his time spent as world number 1.
Look at this, Peter. Look at this shot. Look at this. Might go in. Might go in. Might go in. It is in. That was incredible. Does that remind you of anybody? One guy. That guy.
We're talking 683 total weeks. And if that number sounds huge, it is. Only 3 golfers have ever spent a full calendar year at number 1. And while Nick Faldo and Greg Norman each did it once, Tiger did it 8 times in the aughts. His 683 weeks is 352 more than second-place Norman. And his record streak of 281 consecutive weeks is more than any golfer's career total besides Norman. Between 1998 and 2005, Woods also made 142 straight cuts, another record that we think is pretty safe as well.
That was just another Tiger moment.
Number 3, 511 wins, Sai Young. Sai Young isn't just the name of the award given to the best pitcher in each league. The award is named after a former pitcher, a pitcher who won 511 games throughout his career from 1890 through 1911. That's right, this is a record that stood from pretty much the beginning of the sport, and will forever. With health concerns and Moneyball analytics, they just don't pitch as many games or as many innings within games. Only 7 pitchers had 20-win seasons between 2017 and 2023, whereas a couple of decades ago, it wasn't uncommon to have 6 in one year. This also means Young's 749 complete games is also safe. The active leader on that front is Justin Verlander with a paltry 26. Number 2, 15,806 career assists, John Stockton. If it wasn't for John Stockton, Jason Kidd could have seen his name atop a couple of NBA records lists. But alas, when Jason Kidd ended his playing career in 2013, his 2,684 steals and 12,091 assists left him far behind the aforementioned Stockton.
A new NBA assist king, John Stockton.
Stockton played all of his 19 seasons with the Utah Jazz, and the team made the playoffs every year. They also reached their only 2 NBA finals in that time, losing both times to Michael Jordan's Bulls. But while he never got a ring, he stands 600 steals and over 3,000 assists ahead of second place.
The way Stockton plays the game forces him out of the dark and into the bright lights of stardom. Last night, the NBA's all-time assist leader became the league's all-time leader in steal.
And when it comes to the assists, we don't see anyone ever catching him. Number 1, 23 Olympic gold medals, Michael Phelps. When it comes to domination, no athlete has ever dominated their sport like Michael Phelps. But Phelps's records don't just stand above all swimmers. They're also tops among every other athlete to ever compete in the Olympics.
There's something only the greatest athletes in history hold. An unstoppable fire deep within that allows them to accomplish the impossible.
Before Phelps showed up, the record for most career Olympic gold medals was 9, and it was held by 4 different people. At the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Phelps won 6. Then in 2008, he competed in 8 events and won 8 gold medals. But he wasn't done yet. In 2012, he won 4, and in 2016, he took home 5 more. Phelps's 23 gold medals is more than any other athlete's.
Being the greatest swimmer of all time, Michael Phelps will forever be one of the greatest Olympians to ever grace the sport's ultimate stage.
His reign as the gold medal king should last longer than Queen Elizabeth's. Which of these records are you most confident will never be eclipsed? Let us know in the comments.
What was once thought as an unbreakable record has just been broken by 38-year-old LeBron James.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.